So I continued going to school and graduated from community college. I had an associate's degree in fine arts, and then I went to Southeast Missouri State University, where I worked on a bachelor's degree in English literature. So for me, this was my chance for a fresh start. I was finally getting out of the house, away from my mom. And so I decided I am going to come back to Jesus. I'm going to use this opportunity because I'm going to a completely new place, completely new people, and I'm going to get back into Jesus. And so I got involved with the Baptist Student Union, met a bunch of Christians, kids, students, got very involved. I met some Assembly of God students who are charismatic, and that was my first real experience with charismatic faith. Christianity really spoke to my spirit. Here is maybe, what I've been looking for, that there's this joy here. There's something here that was not just following rules, there's something more. And so I loved it. I got so involved. I was, they had like it was called Chi Alpha, which was they called it a fraternity, but it wasn't really, it was just really like a Christian student group on campus for Assembly of God kids. And so I was so involved. I got on the worship team. I participated I went to a church there, went to church several times a week. I went to Bible studies, worship services, outreach ministry. I mean, I was all in. I was 100% all in, and it felt fantastic. I was so, so happy doing that, coming back to Jesus. And so it was during my college years that I experienced my first actual deliverance from that demon, because that demon was still there. She had not been cast out. I didn't really even realize she was still there, I guess, because after Jeremy left, she got real quiet. I guess she was kind of just biding her time, waiting for, the next opportunity. And so I didn't really think about her. I was in such a good place, going to church and, really enjoying college. I enjoyed it so much at that time. And so I was at a prayer meeting with my new friends, and all of a sudden we were all praying, and all of a sudden the demon started screaming in my head. I have no idea why she chose that moment. I had been in prayer meetings before. She had never done that. She just started screaming like she used to do when I was a little kid, just screaming. She wasn't saying anything. She was just screaming, this guttural, hideous scream in my head, and I was shocked because I did not expect it. It just took me by total surprise. And so I was visibly being affected by this. I started crying. I was shaking, and the other people in the room sensed what was happening. And now these are charismatic kids, so they know what to do, so they all come around me and they're laying hands on me, praying spiritual warfare over me. The demon went insane. So she starts screaming and yelling, and she's yelling through me. Like it's one of these crazy demonic casting out of demon sessions that you've heard about. Okay. That was happening to me. Okay. So she's screaming and yelling, and I'm like thrashing around. I'm on the ground at this point. I'm having like a seizure, and just screaming. And it was painful. Like the more they prayed, the louder she screamed. And it felt like every cell in my body was going to explode. I thought I was going to die. And so I'm screaming and crying. They just keep praying, keep praying, and keep praying. Finally, when I thought I wasn't going to be able to handle it anymore, finally, there was this loud slam, like a door slamming in the spirit. So loud. And she was gone. She was gone, completely gone. And I'm just sitting there. For the first time in my whole life, and I'm in my early 20s, I guess. The first time in my life that demon was gone. I was completely delivered. Praise Jesus. And it was so amazing. It was so different. I'd never not had her there. And oh my goodness, it was so beautiful, so beautiful. And so I want to show you how my artwork changed after, because I was still doing my artwork. I loved doing the artwork. And so let me show you how it changed after I was delivered. If I can figure out how to get back here. Here we go. Okay, so remember that was before. And so then I started doing these really neat, fun kinds of more free-form imagery and watercolor. I did this whole series that I called Dancing Children. And So they were just so full of life, so fun. These are the things I'm doing now. So anyway, yeah, this is my artwork now. You want to see these? This is what I do now. I still do art. I'm a painter now. And so I do these, I call these nail pierced hand paintings. And so I actually have these, you can buy prints of these if you're interested, on my website. So, and I add scripture. So every single nail pierced hand paintings and every single image has a picture of a hand that has a hole in the center. That's Jesus's hand, and so anyway, people don't seem to like them very much, but I love them and I really enjoy painting them. So anyway, this is on the cover of my Chaos Calmed book. So all of my books have my paintings as on the cover. So that's the painting, the cover of My Demon, My Jesus. Here's another one. You can see the hand. And then this is on the cover of Join Hands with Heaven. And so I always add scripture. Well, on a lot of them, I've added scripture. And this is Jesus's hand coming down and pulling me out of the pit of despair. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. Let me show you some more pictures of me during this time. Okay, so there's me in high school or in college. So, and remember, Heidi, we were talking about that you wore the denim jacket. So what I used to do when I was in college, I would go buy used denim jackets and then I would paint on them and I would make artwork on them with broken glass mirrors and stuff. And I sold them. I sold all kinds of these to people. People would pay me to make them for them. And I actually even sold them in a gallery for a while. I was always a little entrepreneur. I always had little businesses going. So anyway, and there's me. I guess I was, maybe 20 in this picture. And I think you can see, when I look at that, I can see that, there still was, this was before I was delivered from the demon, and I can see it in my eyes. So let's see, here's some more. So there's me after I was delivered. Can you tell the difference? So that is when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. That is my little brother, who is taller than me. He turned out to be a really good looking young man. So there's me graduating with my bachelor's. This was me graduating with my master's degree. That's my master's hood there. And that's me after I got out of college. This is the last picture of me that I have. So I was probably, I was in my, early 30s, something like that. So at some point I lost my nose because that flash is way too bright there. So anyway,